Today we're going to work on closing this back half off, getting the floor in, getting the seat base in. Also trying to get this bed all put together. As you can see, we've got the rocker panel in, got this side panel in, got the other side closed up, got both of the intakes on, and now we're going to work on getting the rear bumper, all the lights, all that. So we've got the rear end closed up, side panels on. Just probably the next step we'll be working on and kind of enclosing this here. But before we do that, I think I'm going to drop the seat base in here, so that way that can be kind of buttoned up. I can get this remounted, and then I'll be able to know where I can run my winch wires, because I'll install that next. Back working on the RZR today. We got a few more things finished the other day. Got the center console bracket in there, seat base in, and now we're going to work on getting the dash put back together so I can get the center console trim in. I want to get the winch wiring mounted, so I need to know where exactly I have room. Got most of the dash trim in. We're going to work on getting the center console in, at least on this side, so that I can see where I can mount the control box for the winch. So we're at a stopping point for today. We got driver's side of the center console on. We got it all figured out up here. Threw in the winch switch where I wanted it for right now. It was getting stuck hanging up on the bottom of this little bar here. So we'll just run it down there. Started running the winch wiring in. Put the control box for the winch right here. And I'm starting to run the wiring, get that wired up to the battery, and make sure it's all good. This next day, what we're gonna do is finish up wiring the winch. Got the power and ground cable run there over to the battery side, so I just have to clean that up, clean up this wiring just a little bit, and then we'll get the winch the rest of the way mounted up here, get the bumper back on the fair lead, and get it all squared away. Back working on the RZR. We got a lot done the last time. We got the interior all completed, put back together. The dash is all back together. Obviously got to put the speaker grills on at some point here. Gonna finish up the front end today. We got all the brakes installed, all new pads. Hit a stopping point for today. Got a lot of this front end back together, but this bracket was being extremely difficult to get back into position. Ended up breaking it, so we're gonna just replace that. I got to drill a hole here, match those up. I'm gonna have to do a little heating and bending on that plastic. Same thing over here. Get this fender back on, and we're gonna have to do a little bit of bending and heating. This bracket seems to be okay, so we'll be able to mount that up no problem. We'll just be able to hopefully wrap this up a little bit later this week. So we got the wheels and tires that are supposed to be on the rear back. We're gonna finish up this here, finish getting this mounted, and then we'll start working on getting the seat belts, and then the door skin over there, the door over here. Get the roof mounted. I worked on the roof, got that plastic welded all back together, so it should be good to go. Alright, so we got the plastics all secured. Got this grill back in for the speaker. Now we're going to work on the seat belts and then finish up that door before we come back over here to work on this door. This other door on, but I remembered that I need to move everything over from this damaged door skin. As you can see, the latch is broken. Got the door back together with the new frame. Got the new latch installed. I had an issue with this down here. Apparently the bracket that was included with that door is a little different. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be a rear door or something else, but we just swapped the other one from the broken door on here and we should be good now. So we can go ahead and install it. As you can see, door closes, door opens. No binding, no grinding. Had little clearancing issues here. I don't know why these were so hard to get back in, but they did not want to go back in. They did not want to line up, but everything else is good. Tighten everything up. All right, we got the hood on. Obviously there's a little bit of a gap. It's still a little off, but better than it was. Now we're gonna put the new antenna on. All right, last but not least, we're gonna throw the wheels and tires on the front end, and then it'll be the battery and the roof. Throw those on as well. And it's back on the ground finally. Back on all four wheels. We got everything back together. Interior's back together. Checked all the fluids were good. The only issue that I had so far is we've got some leaking from the radiator. It looks like it's coming from that top. That means we're gonna tear this apart. There, you can see it right there. We're gonna tear open the front a little bit and see if it's just the hose that's leaking or if it's something messed up with the actual radiator itself. So that seems to be the only place that's leaking. So I didn't end up having to tear the whole front end down, thankfully. Just this side, and found that what's leaking is this hose here, and when you push on it, it's really hard to see, but down here fluid's getting by, a little bit of coolant's getting by. So I think I'm gonna pull this clamp off and put a normal hose clamp on there, and that should hopefully take care of that leak. So we're back finishing up with this RZR. I got a few last minute things done. Got the door all cleared. Got a new speaker grill in here. Got the coolant installed. We had that small coolant leak that we fixed. Gonna go ahead and see if she'll fire up. Full disclosure, I have primed the fuel pump a couple times. Turn the key, let it go for a little bit, turn it off, turn it. That's all a good sign. And it's running. It's awesome. It's up and running. Let's see how she's doing back here. Again, we checked all the fluids already, made sure it was all good to go. Oil was good, diff, front and rear, the transmission were all good. We got coolant in there, we're working on bleeding it, so we got to let it cycle. It's supposed to bleed by itself according to the manual, so we just got to let it run, get up to temp. So we'll go ahead and do that now, and then see if we can't take it for a spin. Up, we're in the 170s, waiting to see if the fan will kick on. We did find one other issue now. Got a little bit of a leak coming from right there. I'm thinking it's the clamp. We'll throw a new clamp on there, and see if that doesn't fix it. If it doesn't, then I'll just replace that coolant line that goes from the center console into the engine bay. It's not or into the front end. It's not a big deal, but we'll see. See if we can maybe move this thing once the fan kicks on. Once I'm sure that works. I was thinking that the fan would turn on and be a lot louder, but it's actually pretty quiet, and it's working. I think I also fixed that coolant leak up front already. It was just the clamp had to be adjusted. The hose is probably so used to it being in the same spot that it was off just a little bit, and that was causing it to leak. It doesn't appear to be leaking anymore. So, let's take it for a spin. I also did take a look underneath the machine, up front, basically anywhere there was a coolant line, oil line, all that stuff. I'm going to recheck the oil real quick here, make sure we're all good, but didn't see any other leaks, so should be good to go. sure you could hear it on video, but it was clunking pretty loudly. I'm assuming something in the drive line. Don't know. It was only when we were moving. I'm thinking it's probably something with the drive shaft. But I'm gonna have to, another day, I'm gonna have to get it up in the air and see when this is moving where the noise is, trying to pinpoint that a little better. It's been a couple days since the test ride where we found the U-joints were making a lot of noise. They were pretty loose. At least we had some metal banging around and we think that's what the problem was. So we've got a new U-joint in here. No slop, no play. Also, replace this one right here. There was a lot of different information on which U-joints were the correct ones online because Polaris doesn't sell the middle one. They want you to buy the whole drive shaft. That's per the dealership. So I had to do a lot of digging and eventually found two kind of through trial and error that work, because the rear one is a different size than the middle one, and the middle one and the front are the same size, so you can use that part number. But anyways, we got that, and the only other thing we had, I noticed there was some coolant leaking down here out of this clamp. It was a spring type one like this one. I tried adjusting it, moving it around, couldn't get it to work, so just threw a hose clamp on there. It doesn't look to be leaking anymore. It was leaking around here, so we're gonna fire it up, see if we can't go for another ride and see if there's any other noises we need to address. So that noise is still there, which I did notice that it went away when the noise went away when I put on the brakes. So it was there when the brakes were off, gone when the brakes were on. So we're gonna have to look into that. All right, so I think I found the problem here. I was messing with this tire, this hub, trying to figure it out. And I kept seeing the pads moving just a little bit in and out in one spot on the rotor, so I thought maybe the rotor was slightly off or warped. And then I started looking a little bit closer, and maybe you can already kind of see it. Right there. Grab a flashlight. Right there. That's our problem. From what I can tell is the fronts are totally fine. I looked at those are clearing the rotors, no problem. They're clearing the hub, no problem. But the rears, both of them are doing the same thing. You can see it's starting to grind in there on the top. If we turn it just a little bit, you'll see those two are just barely making contact. So what it looks like what's probably happening is as this was spinning, and whatever little inconsistency here along with this was hitting this and causing like clicking noise. So it hit the pad, and any little slop in here, it was making noise with the metal. That's why when I hit the brakes, it would stiffen everything up and you wouldn't hear it rattling because it was touching the pad. So I'm gonna take these pads off, grind down just a little bit of the edges here, and then see if that fixes our noise. We got both of these clearance just a little, if you can see that in there. So now we've got a little bit of gap from this brake pad to this hub here. So hopefully this will take care of that noise. We'll see. We'll go take it for a quick test spin. Well, clicking noise is gone. That was it. It was the brake pads were hitting the hub, and while it was rotating, it kept hitting that, and any of the little bit of slop that was in the caliper, it was just making that metal rattling noise. So far, so good. The only other thing I noticed is the brakes feel a little soft, so I'll probably go ahead and bleed those just to make sure there's no air in the system. There shouldn't be, I didn't disconnect anything when I took it all apart. I was able to keep all the lines intact and everything, but with brand new pads on there, I think I should have better stopping than I am getting currently. So I am going to do that in the near future and then take this thing to an off-road park and test it out.